and it said, "You will know my name by the time I am through with you. I am Belial." So the pain got worse and worse, but I didn't break. I tolerated the pain. I noticed I was hyperventilating and kind of panicking, so I sat up straighter. I relaxed my breathing. And all of a sudden, someone's banging on the wall right outside the house. And I noticed the pain had gone away a little bit. So I stood up and my legs were kind of shaking. I tolerated a lot of energy going through me. And so I kind of walked to the sliding glass door and looked out, and there was this guy who looked like a demon-possessed priest in an oil man's uniform. And he had pitch black eyes, big, bulging, pitch black eyes. He had a gray beard. His face was bright red as if he'd been burnt by the sun. And he looked very bad. And he said something like, he pointed to the oil tank, "All finished." And I said, "So what?" And I slammed the sliding glass door. So I wanted to get out of that house, you know. I just wanted to get out and, you know, go do something, get my mind off of this pain. So I got dressed up in nicer clothes and I decided to leave the house. So I just began driving around Connecticut, just going on long drives, and that's how I killed the weekend. I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't leave the state to visit my family without permission, to see my wife and kids. So I just took long drives into the country, all over the state of Connecticut. Connecticut's not that big of a state, so occasionally I'd stop at, you know, for coffee or something to eat. And wherever I would drive up, agents would always drive up behind me, staring and acting like assholes in general. So I stopped at this one place, and there was this older woman who kind of glanced over at me, and she was about 50 years old. She was attractive. She had these very intelligent but tragic eyes, and she kind of looked like, you know, a strong older woman. And she made eye contact, and then she quickly got into her car and they sped out. She got into the passenger side and they quickly sped off. And a moment later, a stupid thought occurred to me that she was a Palladian woman, or that she was like a reincarnation of Joan of Arc. And of course, I missed my chance to meet her. She remained just out of my reach. So I continued driving. And later that day, around 4 or 5, I stopped for something to eat at the small county store. And more agents pulled up, 2 guys, staring at me. And one said to the other loud enough so I could hear, "What is he doing, just driving around all over the place?" And the other one said, "He is looking for his woman," implying that I was looking for Joan of Arc, or a Palladian woman who will continue to elude me. So I must say now that this is a program that has changed a lot of good women and good men. Now, I've never been a flirt or the type of guy who always hits on women, but if I see someone I consider cute, I might say hi to her. Now, I noticed at this point that they had a lot of pretty female agents who were placed around me and instructed to be rude or act horrified if I looked over at them or smiled at them or something. And I began to quickly realize what they were doing. It was a process to get me to attempt to find this unattainable Joan of Arc-like woman. And when I'd see these pretty ladies, they'll go out of their way to disrespect me in a process of breaking me down. Now, what's sad is that the same process was probably used on all these CIA girls. When they went through this, you know, the men who were agents, attractive men, would be obnoxious or rude to them. if they were looking for a friend or just to make human contact with someone. And they went on to hate men. So this was their revenge. This was the process of becoming loveless, or being taught to hate the opposite sex. So while being hit with the electromagnetic energy weapons in the car, being planted, and receiving all this negative behavior from females, this will usually turn males against females or vice versa. And a person will either act aggressive toward the opposite sex, and this might go on to a guy trying to pressure a woman or take advantage of a woman or even rape a woman, or cause someone to become homosexual. Because at the same time as the women are acting very rude and standoffish against the men, there'll be a whole bunch of male agents that act sympathetic to what's happening. So I like to say, only in the Illuminati do the girls want to fight you and the guys want to hold your hand.